right. Hello, Internet. My name is Rick, also known as Shroom or S Shroom or the real S Shroom on Twitch. And welcome to the first official gaming broadcast of my new and improved Twitch channel. And I'm going to be playing some modern Magic the Gathering tonight. I am a big fan of the game. I started playing right when it first came out, stopped for a long period around Visions, and then sort of got back into it after Theros. I don't still collect physical Magic cards, but, well, I didn't for a long time. I now have a couple of decks, but I do play a lot of Magic the Gathering Online and Magic the Gathering Arena. And on my channel, I'm going to play my brews through various formats, typically Modern or Standard, sometimes also sometimes Explorer on Arena. And if you read the About Me information on my YouTube or Twitch page, you'll see that it says I'm a brewer and jank aficionado. So I like to play off-meta, weird, sometimes admittedly janky, but hopefully pretty spicy and entertaining decks. That hopefully the idea is that they're also to some degree competitively viable. They're decks you'll be able to win games with. You may not be able to 5-0 every single league with these decks, but they should be fun, a bit off meta, a bit off kilter, and something that you can use to get some wins if you pilot them properly. If I can pilot them properly, that's another big if. So welcome to my channel. If you do enjoy this and other content like this, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below in the comment section on YouTube where this will be posted. And let's take a look at the deck. Tonight I'm going to play a modern Toolbox deck. So it's a toolbox because it has a variety of hateful creatures that we're going to use to hate out our opponent's deck. We're going to use Eladamri's Call to tutor up the hate piece that's appropriate for the matchup that we're in. One big hate piece that I'm leaning quite heavily on is Hushbringer. This 2-mana, 2/1 flying, 1/2 flying lifelink. Creatures entering the battlefield and dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So I believe this card is superbly effective in the current Modern Horizons 2 modern metagame. If you think about it, it completely shuts down like all of the ETB effects of pitch elementals, which many decks are just totally reliant on that happening. It also stops like Stoneforge Mystic. Combined with bounce effects, it's good against Archon of Cruelty if they cheated in off of Persist or like a Cascade spell. It also is good against Primeval Titan. It shuts down the initial trigger. With the bounce effect, you bounce it back to their hand, and you can keep them from getting value off of their creatures that way. So I do have 3 copies of Hushbringer in the main board. This is sort of like my main hate piece for the meta. It's been really good in testing. It does hit a lot of the games in the meta. Hopefully we'll see that tonight. Other hate pieces include a Remorseful Cleric, which I can use for graveyards. Archon of Emeria is good against decks that want a multi-spell, obviously. It's good against Cascade. It stops Cascade spells from being cast. It's good against like Storm decks. There's actually, of course, it's not like commonly played, but that is something you come across from time to time. Anything that wants to multi-spell, like including even like a Murktide decks, Archon of Emeria is quite effective against. It also causes their non-basic lands to ETB tapped, which can be good against decks that use a lot of fetch lands and also against Tron. What else do we have in the way of hate pieces? I think that's about all that we have main board. The other aspect of this is, of course, we have to protect the creatures, and that is a big task in today's extremely interactive modern metagame. Every deck is packing oodles of removal. It's just super hard to keep creatures alive. So we are loaded with ways to protect our creatures. We've got a full play set of Giver of Runes. We've got a Selfless Spirit. I'm running 1 Kira Great Glass Spinner, which I'm aware there is somewhat of an anti-synergy between Kira and the Giver of Runes, as like Kira kind of prevents you from using the Givers offensively. You can't give your creatures protection in order to get in attacks. Also, in some cases, it creates awkwardness in blocking, where like you won't be able to just stand off a creature by making one of your blockers have protection. However, I think Kira is still worth including because it is just like the best like one-stop I need something that's going to protect all of my creatures right now. It's sort of just the most bang for your buck you can get out of one creature as far as protecting all of your hate pieces. So that's why I do have one copy of Kira. In matchups where I think Giver is going to be super duper important, I will board it out. But for the most part, I do like having the one copy there. Also have a Brazen Borrower. This is just a good overall useful thing to have. It can bounce things like Archon of Cruelty before they get their attack trigger. So, you have a Hushbringer down, they play their Archon, they cheat it in however they do. It does nothing, then you just bounce it back to their hand and they can't play it. It does the same thing against a Murktide Regent. If they exile their whole graveyard to play the Regent, you just bounce the Regent back to their hand, they can't play it again. Also, it's very good against Urza's Saga. You just bounce the Construct tokens and they don't get those back. Other things that we have, so that's mainly how we're protecting our creatures. Oh yeah, we also have Shalai, Voice of Plenty, is a 4-drop answer to lots of different creature removal, as well as discard and burn. And I'm actually packing 3 main board Snakeskin Veils, just as a 1-mana way of protecting my creatures from spot removal. And I chose Snakeskin Veil over other possibilities, like Brave the Elements was a possibility, or God's Willing, or Blossoming Defense. But I wanted the Snakeskin Veil because this deck doesn't present a very fast clock. The hate pieces that we're utilizing are pretty small, so we don't kill quickly. But with the Snakeskin Veil, I'm valuing the +1/+1 counter very highly, as any way that can accelerate our clock is something that I'm really in the market for. Oh, also another hate piece is this Phyrexian Revoker, which you can use to name Yawgmoth or anything that's not a land. Unfortunately, it can't name Urza's Saga, but it can name Planeswalkers, it can name Yawgmoth, that's a huge one, obviously. It can name Ether Vial. There's lots of good targets for Phyrexian Revoker in the current metagame. Interaction pieces we have 3 Teferis, which is both a good bounce piece. As we mentioned before, having something ETB do nothing and then bouncing it is a good way to stall our opponent, buy us time to get in our attacks. Teferi is obviously, of course, very good against control. It's very good against Cascade, completely shuts down Cascade decks. And then as far as other interaction, we have 2 Paths. We've got 2 Prismatic Endings and 1 March of Otherworldly Light. So 5 just straight up removal pieces. And rounding out the main board, I've got a Selfless Spirit, another protection piece, and I've got 3 Karn the Great Creators, which shuts down decks that need to activate artifacts. So it's of course, Karn's just kind of a busted card. It's a Stony Silence on a stick. There's also a certain amount of a Karn box in our sideboard. Let's take a look at the sideboard now. So Settle the Wreckage is against Go Wide decks. Oh, by the way, there's 24 lands in the deck, including 3 Noble Hierarchs. Nothing too fancy. A couple of Canopy lands. It's somewhat of a painful mana base. Lots of fetch lands, and the mana base is the part of the deck that I still have a lot of questions about. I don't know if I have the proportions right. There is 1 Gavany Township, which we can use to add tokens to our creatures to finish up games. I have in addition to 2 Bant Triomes, I have 1 Indatha Triome, so I can get my Prismatic Ending up to 4 colors. Also, that is to enable the 1 of Plague Engineer that I have in my sideboard, which is good against tribal decks. Is it good enough, though, with all of the new lords that are just printed? Is naming elves or goblins or, merfolk, is that actually worthy of including a Plague Engineer in the sideboard? I'm not really sure. It would be good against token decks, in practicing I played against a person who had 3 bitter blossoms on the table, so it was pretty good there, naming fairies, or against sliver decks, it's pretty good there as well. But I do have it in the deck for now. We'll see if it is useful or if it should be replaced with something else. I have Hushbringer number 4 in the sideboard because in matchups where Hushbringer is good, you want to draw it early, so you just want as many chances to hit this effect as possible before they can get down those pitch elementals and ephemerate them, before they can even get a Stoneforge Mystic on the table. If you're on the play, if you can get a Hushbringer down turn 2, their Stoneforge just ETBs and does nothing. Containment Priest is good against graveyard decks. It's good against a variety of decks, including decks that ephemerate pitch elementals. If they ephemerate, you can flash in the Containment Priest to just stop the creature from ETBing. Stops Persist from working. Um, got a core Firewalker Walker against Burn. Don't know if this is actually enough to shore up that matchup. That matchup's just really, really bad. But got one just in case it's helpful. Maybe between that and our interaction and Shalai, we can get there against Burn decks. Seems like a bad matchup, though. Collector Oof against Artifact decks, as well as a Force of Vigor. Meddling Mage against Control and Combo decks. Gadok Teague is good against Tron. It's also good against Blue-White Control, as it stops like their big Planeswalkers. It stops Prismatic Ending. Yes, there is some anti-synergy between Gadok Teague and our Karns and Prismatic Endings. We'll just have to be alert to that, try to sequence things properly, and maybe board out these pieces when we bring in the Gadok Teague to a degree. Dragonlord Dromoka is good against Blue-White Control. I haven't actually had a chance to cast this spell yet, but I hate Blue-White Control. And I think this card is actually quite good against it. We'll see. We'll see if it's good enough. And then our Karn board consists of a Tormod's Crypt, a Pithy Needle, a Damping Sphere, a Torpor Orb, a Walking Ballista. Notably absent is Liquid Metal Coating. Like, the sideboard's pretty tight on things that I want to have in the deck. So finding the spot for the Liquid Metal Coating is tough. It might actually be worth having. The thing is, like, I don't think we're gonna really win by destroying our opponent's lands with Liquid Metal Coating. That's such a slow plan. I think if we're at the point where we've got Karn on the battlefield and we're getting artifacts, we're better off just trying to tutor up artifacts that will shut down their deck, like this Torpor Orb, like this Damping Sphere, like this Pithy Needle. And we do have the Walking Ballista Heliod combo between our main and sideboard that we can also use to win games. So that is the plan. We are going to tutor up our hateful creatures using Eladamri's Call. We're going to protect our creatures with our Givers of Runes, with our Snakeskin Veils, with our Selfless Spirits, with our Shalais, and we're going to interact with Teferi and removal spells. We're eventually going to kill them with our little dudes and hopefully a Gavany Township. Hopefully we'll just be able to hate out their whole plan, so they just basically won't be able to do anything, and will act as like a prison style deck. So that is the basic idea of the deck. I have been doing, I've been winning games with it in testing in the practice queues. Been a while since I played a modern league, so let's see how it goes. Okay, we got our first match against Real Joy, and we're on the play. Is this the way that I'm gonna have my setup for YouTube, I wonder? I think I would prefer to have it. Nah, it's good this way, because then all the cards are visible. This looks like a keep. Our opponent has no companion. What is that? Oh, Dockside Chef. I remember that card. All right, let's lead on. Oh, we don't have a. Yeah, we have a green source. Let's lead on a forest. Oh, we drew all of our basic lands. There's one Beseju in the mana base too. I don't have like a. I don't have an Artawara or an Iganjo. So what is this? Murktide? Serum Visions. Alright, I'll do Plains and say go. What plays Serum Vision? Storm? Okay, do I want to cast my Eladamri's Call into 2 open blue mana? Probably not. I think I'll try to bait out a counter if they have it with Heliod. I'm thinking getting my Archon of a Myriad down will be really good in this matchup. There's the counter spell. Expressive Iteration. Okay, so just busted stuff. It could definitely be Murktide. So I think I'll go Noble. Horizon Canopy. I'll hold up Snakeskin Veil and EOT Eladamri's Call for what? Shall I? Bolt? Do I want to keep my noble alive? I believe I do. Is this Murktide? Yep. Okay. So they've got the counterspell up as well. That's bad news. Can I draw Teferi? No. So I think I try to catch them tapped out. Instant speed Eladamri's Call for a Brazen Borrower. I think that is my best chance. Murktide's a 7/7. Serum Visions. Okay. Well, I think I'd try to get them to EOT. More lands is not what I'm looking for. Let's see if they EOT go for an Archmage's Charm. And then maybe I can Eladamri's Call bounce the Regent. Nope. So probably got to just go for it, and then I lose if they have a counterspell. Right? Oh no, that's Kira. That's not Brazen Borrower. Oops. That's the other double blue spell. Okay. So we lost. All right. Nice to start the first game of the first match of the stream with a huge punt like that. Cool. All right, so it's just Murktide. So Meddling Mage can name like Counterspell or Archmage's Charm. Dromoka is also good against control. Anything else we want? Maybe Settle the Wreckage. Hushbringer is actually kind of useless in this matchup. Right? Core Firewalker, maybe? Can stop like the Ragavans. I don't think Phyrexian Revoker does anything. It can name like Mishra's Bauble. But I can also already do that with Karn. Yeah, let's try it like that. In reality, they Serum Visioned a couple of times. They had like 6 cards in hands. It's almost certain they had a counterspell for the Petty Theft anyway. This is a mulligan as it's a 1-lander. This is keepable. That was totally a shame scoop game one. I could have drawn like a Path to Exile or something, so I should have played it out, but sometimes you just shame scoop. I'm keeping this, and let's bottom probably Shalai. I do like getting the Firewalker down on the play turn 2. And Teferi is just so good against them. I think it's got to be Shalai. So what's better, this look or like this look? See, if I had 7 cards, I would have to smush them down like this. I kind of feel like it's a little more symmetrical to have the chat/log line up with the webcam. We'll play a fetch land and say go. Bobble. All right, I'll go get my Bant Triome. And let's make sure it's the right one. Yes, Spar's headquarters. That's the one. Check very carefully. Yes, that's always yield to that BS. All right, let's go ahead and just Firewalker. All right, let's get in with Firewalker. And I don't want to run Teferi into a counterspell, so I think I'll just play Selfless Spirit. It's going to eat one of their otherwise useless removal spells. But that's one less Unholy Heat that will be pointed at Teferi, which is good. All right, let's go fetch. There's nothing they play that's 4. The only thing they play that's above like 2 is 8. So I think I can just get another Bant Triome. Get in for 2. So now what do I want to do? I think I just play a tap land and say go. So let's see if they go for Murktide here. Okay. Let's Eladamri's call. And let's grab what? Okay, the bad side of having this here is I can't actually expand this. Why? Why is Bodo so janky? Man. Why is Moto so bad? Can I move this over here? Yes, I can. What do I want? Meddling Mage? To name, what? Counterspell? Archmage's Charm? Unholy Heat? Let's go for Meddling Mage. I should not have played my land there. I should have concealed the fact that I would have 3 leftover mana. So this is probably getting countered. Yep. Now, do I go for Teferi now? See, they gotta have Unholy Heat for it. They have their Delirium. So I play it, I plus it. They just kill it immediately. And then they Murktide, then I'm in big trouble. I think it's the correct play, though. Let's grab. Basic. Counterspell. Yep. I feel so naked without any Veil of Summers. Here's the Murktide. Oh, just a Ledger Shredder. Plus a Murktide? Yep. Okay. Let's draw a Brazen Borrower. Settle the Wreckage. Ooh. That's an interesting draw. The question is, do they have a counterspell for it? And almost certainly they do. I think I gotta risk it, though. Dash a Monkey. Expressive Iteration. See, now they have a counterspell if they didn't before. They've got 3 cards in hand. Sure, let's go for Settle. Alright, we settled them. I'm surprised. Path to Exile is pretty good. Alright, let's Prismatic this Ledger Shredder. Subtlety. Okay. Go ahead and path that. Alright, we're top decking. They've got a Canopy Land and 2 cards in hand, and they play Expressive Iteration, so I don't like our chances too much. Serum Visions. Can I draw a Dramoka? Ledger Shredder. Draws off Islet. Ledger Shredder. There's Dramoka. I'm short a land, though. Serum Visions. They're just gonna double Unholy Heat it, though. Something lame like that. Expressive Iteration. Dress down to remove Pro Red from my dude. They also remove the Connive. Oh, Expressive Iteration. Okay. Unholy Heat. Of course. Untapped land, please. Karn. Karn doesn't really do much. I guess Tormod's Crypt is pretty good against them. It's probably the best I can hope for. That or a Walking Ballista actually wouldn't be bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I grab a Crypt or a Ballista? Probably a Crypt. After all of that card draw, they've got to have another counterspell in hand for a Ballista. Ledger Shredder. Getting their Connive. It's like this card was printed just for this deck. I'll go ahead and just eat the graveyard now. Bobble. Can't be activated. But they can cast another one. They ditch a Bolt. They only have 1 card in hand. Ragavan. Okay. Fair. Can I draw an untapped land, please? What did they exile? They exiled an island. Would it like to draw that? So they get to draw 2 cards. Another Karn. Okay. Oh, I could have plussed and destroyed their treasure token. I guess now we'll go get the ballista. Fury. Duck doesn't usually play Fury. Well, maybe it does. I haven't really looked at lists these days, or recently. I mean, it's a good inclusion. Untapped land? No, Brazen Borrower. Six, 7, 8. So I'm dead to the Fury plus 1 of the Ledger Shredders. I can't instant speed. I can't actually bounce Fury plus play Brazen Borrower. So yeah, looking pretty bad here. I guess I have to just ballista for 1. Counterspell. Oh, dress down. Okay. Okay, well, their Fury loses double strike. Oh no, it goes away now. So yeah, we're dead. Alright, that's Murktide. I didn't think that Murktide ran Fury, but I guess it does. And there's no reason not to, I suppose. So maybe Hushbringers would have been good to keep in. Game 1 was pretty scuffed, but I somehow don't think that even selecting the Brazen Borrower instead of the Kira made a difference there, because they had like 5 or 6 cards in hand and plenty of open mana for counterspell, so. Alright, we lost to the best deck in Modern. Alright, we're against Neos 272. We're on the play. We can't actually cast any of the spells in our hand. So I guess that means we mulligan. 5 lands. Guess I'm keeping this, though. They have no companion. And I'll bottom... I don't know, one of my fetches. Okay, amulets. This is a matchup we can win. We need good draws. Besage you, that's a good draw. Let's go ahead and just besage you the amulet now. Cavern of Souls naming Dryad. There's a Dryad. I like Archon of Emeria. Because they do like to multi-spell. Jukabog, we don't use the graveyard at all. Grazer. Alright, so they're in Titan territory, and we don't have a Hushbringer effect, which is bad news for us. So I guess we play Shalai. Say go. Valakut already online because of Dryad. Okay, Eladamri's call. Yes. Oh no, but the Archon makes us not able to double spell. Oops. So I think we'll play Heliod. And we'll attack with Shalai. So if they have a Titan, we're in big trouble. They can't Summoner's Pact into Titan. They need the Titan right now. It looks like they don't have it. That's great for us. So let's get our planes. And let's Eladamri's call. Let's get a Hushbringer. We draw more lands. Let's attack. We'll give both our dudes lifelink. We'll give both our dudes a counter. So now they each require multiple Valakut triggers to kill. And a Titan won't do anything if it ETBs. There's the Titan. They get in for 2. Okay. Snakeskin Veil. 7, 8, 9 I can do to them. They can only target Shalai with the Valakut triggers. So if I put 2 counters on it, they actually can't kill it with a double Titan trigger. Oh, did I give this life link again? I'm an idiot. I need to give this lifelink. That means I can't hold up Snakeskin Veil now. That's bad. So I need to give 2 of these to Shalai. I need to give all of these to Shalai. I should have just given... Now they get 4 triggers. Okay. I played that wrong. I should have just given her 1 less counter. I think that's what I should have done. I didn't hold up Snakeskin Veil. I could have given her Hexproof. Oh man, I'm such an idiot. Because I activated Heliod on the Hushbringer instead of the Archon to begin with. Okay, so I totally threw that. I would have had the mana to Hexproof, Shalai. Okay. So we should have won that, if not for my horrible misplay. But we can win this match. We want Settle the Wreckage. We want Meddling Mage. Anything else? Containment Priest doesn't do anything, right? Hushbringer. We don't need Remorseful Cleric. We don't need Phyrexian Revoker. We don't need... What else don't we need? All of this other stuff is pretty good. Karn doesn't really do much, because the amulet doesn't activate. They do play Urza's Saga, so being able to get a Pithy Needle is nice. Kira negates 1 Lagavalica trigger. Yeah, Kira doesn't seem especially useful. She's probably better than one of the Snakeskin Veils, actually. Let's see. Double Eladamri's Call plus the Path. Sure, we can keep that. Would be nice to have an answer to Dryad. I think I will Eladamri's Call for a Meddling Mage and name Dryad with it. We'll see how explosive their turn 1 is. Alright, so 2 matches, 2 major punts. Don't think it mattered in match 1. In that game, it mattered a lot. Like, we probably lost the game because of that punt. Because I could have made Shalai hexproof. I think we could have killed them on the backswing. Amulet. That's bad news. Okay. Yep, that seems fair. Dryad. Let's go ahead and just path the Dryad. So Archon doesn't really do much with the amulet in play. I could go Noble plus Eladamri's Call for what? Or I could Archon. Archon does prevent them from going Summoner's Pact into Titan, which is actually pretty nice. So maybe I do want to go Archon. Yeah, I think I do. They still just get to untap all their lands because Amulet is a messed up card. Grazer is their play for turn. Prismatic Ending. Okay. I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're already like in Titan range, so it's kind of too little too late almost. I guess it does prevent them from doing crazy things like summoning a Titan plus activating Sunhome. So yeah, I think I like ending here. EOT, Eladamri's Call for something. Shall I? Meddling Mage naming Dryad. Hushbringer, maybe? Meddling Mage naming Primeval Titan. I didn't fetch there. Let's name Primeval Titan. Engineered explosives X equals 2. Okay. So they can get rid of the Meddling Mage. Let's Eladamri's Call for what? Shall I? Or Hushbringer? Hushbringer dies to the engineered explosives. Selfless Spirit? If I grab a Selfless Spirit, they just pop the explosives in response. Does Shalai do me any good? Not much. whatever I do that threatens to nullify the explosives, they just crack it in response. So I don't think I can prevent them from getting the Titan. And there's no way I can sequence it so that they won't have a chance to pop the explosives before they cast a Titan. So they're gonna get their Titan. I guess I just grab Shalai because it's my biggest threat. Another Eladamri's call. Oh, I don't have a Revoker, do I? Did I board out my Revoker? I sure did. Oops. Well, I wasn't expecting explosives. I probably should have been. Alright, let's Shalai, because it's kind of the best we can do. Okay. I think I'll just Noble. And swing. I now have enough mana to activate Shalai. Amulet. That's their play for the turn. So let's Eladamri's call. For what? A Heliod? A Giver of Runes isn't bad. I think I actually just want to pump my team, though. Alright, there goes the Meddling Mage. They just pass. So, I think I just pumped my team again. Do I have another untapped white source I can fetch? I don't. They scoop. Yeah, we got him. Alright, so I think I actually want Phyrexian Revoker. I don't need Phyrexian Revoker. I got Karn. I think I just run it back. And that's a good hand. I can exile an amulet. I got a Hushbringer, and I can protect it. So that's a keep. Grazer. Bounce land. We'll just play Triome. Dryad. Do we Hushbringer this turn? Or do we want to Eladamri's Call for what? They have 3 cards in hand. I think I do want to Hushbringer this turn. Just go ahead and shock. Bounce land. Dryad. Pretty good. Okay, X equals 2. So I could ditch my Eladamri's Call to kill the Dryad. Which I think I need to do, unfortunately. Yeah, them getting to bounce a land and play another land is pretty bad. Also, but ditching Eladamri's Call is pretty bad too. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I gotta do it though. It's just too dangerous. I didn't need to tap. I only needed to tap 1 land though, because that's only a 3-drop. I could have kept up Snakeskin Veil. Okay. Path to Exile is excellent. So I can fetch and cycle this Triome. Let's grab our Bant Triome. Cycle. Do I want to start pumping the Hushbringer? I don't think so, because they do play Dismember. I want to hold up Snakeskin Veil. Amulet. Okay. Now I can start using Gabony Township. Yep, there's the dismember. There's a Titan. We do have a path for it, which is nice. Okay, Karn. Well, we know we want to do that. What do we want with Karn? Torpor Orb for starters? Just in case they kill my Hushbringer, they won't get an ETB. Damping Sphere, that's what we want, yes. Get all those bounce lands producing only 1 mana. Okay, we're in real good shape now. There's a Saga, we can get a Pithing Needle for that. Boseiju on the Damping Sphere, okay. We'll name Urza's Saga. Let's activate our township. Wait, we tapped incorrectly. Let's try that again. White, green, whatever, whatever, whatever. There's a Titan that doesn't do anything. Grazer. Alright, I would love to draw a bounce effect for the Titan. Can I draw Teferi? Can I draw Brazen Borrower? Can I draw Eladamri's Call? Hushbringer. Let's go look for another one of those things. Eladamri's Call. There we go. So we bounce it on their turn. Shock this in. Attack with the Hushbringer. Kill one of the Grazers. Plus Teferi. We can play another Hushbringer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Do I have the Heliod Ballista combo? Okay, they named Karn. Okay, I can't do it anymore. I might have had it. Summoner's Pact. Getting another Titan. Dryad. They won't be able to recast Titan because they'll have to pay for Summoner's Pact. Bounce it back to your hand. Urza Saga, which they can't use. They got another Titan? What? What happened there? Oh, they had enough mana pre-combat to bounce it, of course. Okay. Because I had to use the Brazen Borrower pre-combat, so they did have enough lands left over after combat to play it. They are going to have to pay for their Summoner's Pact next turn. So I can ending the Dryad. Which means they don't get all their Valakut triggers. Let's tap correctly. I want white, blue, green. Let's activate the township and attack. That's lethal this turn. They gotta pay for the pacts. They can't activate the saga. They can attack with the Titan, but they don't have enough mountains to activate Valakut. We have 35 life. What are they gonna grab here? I don't think they have anything. Well, opponent. I have to keep in mind that with Karn, I always have the Ballista Heliod combo as an option. If I have Karn plus an Eladamri's Call. What do they get? Another Titan? Okay, they're transmuting for Summoner's Pact. For what? Another Arboreal Grazer? A Dryad? Arboreal Grazer. Okay, another chump blocker. To fairy, just in time. That's game. Alright, taking down Amulet Titan. One of the top 10 decks in the meta. Alright. That was a convincing win, too. That's a good matchup for us. Alright, and we are on the play against Riker. No companion. Yeah, I like this draw a lot. We've got Giver of Runes into either Noble or Hushbringer turn 2, so that's a keep for sure. Just plains Giver. Murktide again. Alright, I'm gonna brave turning off my fan now. See how long I can tolerate it. Opponent deciding which land to fetch off their Scalding Tarn. Stomping Ground. Gonna kill the Giver? Yep. Alright, so this is the kind of situation where I like going Eladamri's into Kira. Stomping Ground. This is where Kira comes in handy. It's just a one creature blanket of protection over all my whole board. Renin 6. Good card. And they do have a fetch. So they're going to get another activation off Renin 6, unfortunately. And we will select the correct double blue creature. So let's go fetch Hallowed Fountain. Cast Kira. They could ping and then bolt Kira. Maybe it was better to just end Renin 6. Yeah, it looks like they're Cascade deck. Dryad. Oh no, they're just Valakut. Okay. They're like Scape Shift. They're Scape Shift. So I think, I mean, they've got to be a Valakut deck, right? The question is, do I end the Dryad or do I end Renin 6? Hmm. I think, well, if they get to 7 lands and they just escape shift, we're dead anyway. Even without the Dryad. So I feel like I end Ren in 6. I noble. Attack. Explore. Playing 3 lands. Is that escape shift? Yep. And that kills us, right? Okay. So, incorrect choice there. Dryad was the correct creature to end. The Explorer let them drop 3 lands there, and now we're dead. Right? I'll go ahead and yield through this turn. I was just thinking, the Ren in 6 lets them just get a land for certain every single turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 21 damage. Okay. Dryad's a good card. So we want Meddling Mage. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else that's really good against them. Remorseful Cleric is actually good. Phyrexian Revoker is good. Path to Exile can hit the Dryads. Is there anything that's particularly bad? Like, I guess we don't need all of this protection against them. They do have, they're red deck, so they've got bolts, they've got Ren in 6. I guess Hushbringer doesn't really do anything. They could be running Endurance and Fury, though. They probably are. Maybe I'll cut a Karn. Karn gets Pithing Needle, Tormod's Crypt. I think that's about it, though. So we'll cut 1 Karn. He's not at his absolute best. Okay. I've got a Meddling Mage. And an Eladamri's Call. Is that good enough? I think so. If I can protect the Meddling Mage, that'll be good. So let's lead on Fetch Land. I want to possibly cycle this Triome. Phyrexian Revoker. Okay. Let's go ahead and play that out, and we'll name Ren in 6. Okay. So now I want to name Lightning Bolt or Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Hmm. Or do I just want to get down like Kira first? I don't want them. I feel like they would have bolted the Revoker already if they had a bolt. So let's name Dryad. Growth Spiral. Okay, now we're getting into like escape shift territory pretty soon, which is scary. Let's attack. Bolts on the meddling mage. Yep. All right, let's noble. And shock. And we'll get Shalai. See, that's what happens when you can't protect your creatures. Oh, expressive iteration. We lose. We lose. That card is unbeatable. Engineered explosives, X equals 1. Okay. The problem is I think escape shift still just kills us. I guess I go for Shalai, because it means they have to put 2 triggers on Shalai. Remand the Shalai. Okay. Expressive iteration number 2. So I think we lost here. This card, you just can't beat this card. 2 expressive iterations is GG's. They've got, we know they have at least 1 Valakut in hand. There's a Dryad. All right, so I need to draw some way of dealing with that, or we're certainly dead. They killed Noble. More lands. Well, all we can do is play Shalai. We can tap the correct colors to play Shalai, that is. I guess I play this Giver. They fetch. Yeah, we're gonna lose. So what I probably should have done is wait on the meddling mage until I had some way to protect it. Like, I should have used my Eladamri's call to fetch up. That means we die. I should have waited on playing the meddling mage until after I had Eladamri's called to, like, get a some kind of protection. A Giver of Runes, a Selfless Spirit, even a Selfless Spirit, or a like Kira. But this just goes to show, like, you can't get enough protection spells in the deck. Like, I want to put in the 4th Snakeskin Veil. Like, you just, if you can protect the creatures, you can win. If you can't, you lose. So we're owing greatness at any cost is our opponent. They've played their share of Bobs, obviously. No companion. This looks like a keep. We're on the draw. They mold a 6, but undoubtedly they have a Dark Confidant, so they should be fine. Uh-oh. Burn. Yikes. Can I get a land, please? Archon of Emeria on the top. Okay. Do I Prismatic End the Goblin or play Giver into a creature? I would rather Prismatic End a Ragavan or a Swift Spear. Another Goblin. Gives us 2 lands. Awesome. Well, gonna take it. Skewer the critics, my face. Okay. Alright. So I think I get my Phyrexian Revoker because it can trade for a Goblin Guide. I don't think it matters what I name. Like, what could they have that activates? I don't know. Nahiri? Maybe there's some universe in which they're a Nahiri deck. Doubtful. Searing Blaze, okay. We'll give the Revoker Pro Red. Okay, they do attack. We've got Snakeskin Veil on top. Cool. That's pretty good, actually. They have 1 card in hand. They bolt me. Alright, so now I need to kill the Goblin Guide. Right? Maybe I should have... Yeah, I gotta start attacking. This might be wrong. The correct play might have been to leave up Snakeskin Veil. They just had the bolts. So it didn't matter. Okay. Burn is a terrible matchup for us. So we want Core Firewalker. We want, like, anything that can block. Hushbringer. Containment Priest. Settle the Wreckage. Six cuts. Cut a Karn. Cut a couple of Karns. They don't do much. Teferi doesn't really do a lot because their creatures are all hasty. Two more cuts. Yeah, we'll just nix the Teferis entirely. Also, Brazen Borrower we don't want. Bounce effects are not good here. We got our Firewalker, so that's good. We keep that for certain. The question is, do we run it out before we get down Kira? Because they could have, like, Path to Exile. They didn't see any Pro Red in game 1, though, so maybe they don't have Path to Exile in their deck? Can we get a land, please? Archon of Emeria on top again. Okay. Oh no, we don't have an untapped white source we can fetch off of this. That's bad. Okay, I guess we say go. Because I'm certainly not shocking. XYZ Principal, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. How you doing? More Goblin Guides. Give me land, please. Noble Hierarch on top. Okay. Well, I certainly am going to fetch that away. Oh, I should have fetched in between the triggers. So I will path one of these guides. And I'll just go ahead and fetch up my Abzan Triome because I did board in Plague Engineer. Okay. And now I don't have double blue up to cast Kira right now. I would love to have Kira down before I cast the Firewalker, just to be extra safe that I don't get pathed. But I'm just gonna risk it that they don't have path and run out the Firewalker now. Please no path. Please no path. Lava spike. Always yes, please. Yeah, Firewalker shuts them down pretty well. Alright. Now I will Kira. Then I can start Gavany townshipping everything. So they need 2 Path to Exiles now to deal with the Firewalker. Boros Charm. Well, that's a red card, so the Boros Charm in my face. Yep. I think actually I want a Hushbringer first. And then start Gavanying. Yes. Let's Hushbringer. And let's Archon. And they scoop. All right. We drew our core Firewalker and we won. I think we just run it back and try to draw our core Firewalker again. Core Firewalker is pretty good against burn. Game 3 against greatness at any cost. Even the cost of playing burn. Burn is actually a fine deck. Burn is one of the least offensive decks in the modern meta. It's certainly not my style, but at least it's not just loaded with MH2 cards. It kind of preys on those decks. So I respect it for that. This is a one-lander where we can't cast anything. So that means it's a mulligan. We're on the play game 3, which is really bad. We've got double removal spells, so that's a keep. And I guess I bottom. Do I bottom Archon or Revoker? Probably Archon, because I'm gonna want to play Heliod as my 3-drop spell. This Revoker's just gonna get, like, Searing Blazed. Oh, no turn 1 play is good. Probably means they have Eidolon. They stop on my draw step. Okay. Yep. So I think I Prismatic Ending the Eidolon so as not to give them more mana. Swifty. Giving it double strike. Alright, well, I need to keep up path, so I guess I just play Noble. They have 2 cards in hand. Skullcrack. Yeah, I think I path now. Skewer. Alright, they're down to 1 card in hand. Hushbringer is actually not a bad draw. So let's go Hushbringer. Plus Giver of Runes. I don't think bluffing a removal spell has any value. They're just going to attack anyway. So I think getting in a point of damage probably has more value. Now, if we're not dead right now, we might get back in this. Roiling Vortex. Ooh. Okay, that's going to shut down our life gain. Oh, but check this out. Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, we'll name Roiling Vortex. Should have activated it in response. Get in for 2 lifelink. Okay, and let's get down another Hushbringer. And then we've got Heliod next turn. They have 1 card in hand. I'm liking where we're at. They draw a card off their Sunbaked Canyon. They get pinged. Two cards in hand. Searing Blaze. Okay. Yeah, we gotta protect the Revoker. Okay. Oh, and they don't bolt us immediately, so that's a good sign. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and tap like this. I'll get in with the whole crew. Let's counter up both of our Hushbringers. They shock. And they scoop. Wow. Beating Burn. Okay. That's a horrible matchup, and we got there. I feel like we got a little lucky. We were within bolt range at least one point during the match, but we got there. All right, we're against Aaron Frere 1212. And we've got creatures, we've got a call, so that looks like a keep. I always like to have some form of protection. Chancellor of the Forge. Okay, so is this like indomitable creativity, something or other? I think it is. Or, no, it's the, like, Glimpse of Tomorrow. It's some kind of Cascade deck. Let's look this up real quick. What deck plays Chancellor of the Forge? I think it's some kind of Cascade deck. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and just play our Noble turn 1. So what do they do? Yeah, they got the Chancellor, they got their 1/1, sure. Alright, let's play a Giver. Yeah, this is totally, Glimpse of Tomorrow? Is that the card? So what am I looking for? I think Archon of Emeria prevents suspend things from happening. So on their end step, I Eladamri's for my Archon. They could just cascade into it right now. Okay. Let's grab our Archon right now. Before we lose our colors. Risen Reef, Omnath. Jeez. What a hit. Wow. Fury. Okay. Yeah, we lose. That was a pretty good hit they got. Pretty good hit they got there. Their Omnath into Risen Reef lands to give them mana to hard cast Fury. Ridiculous. Okay. Meddling Mage, Containment Priest, Hushbringer. Hushbringer doesn't actually stop Shardless Agent from cascading. Remorseful Cleric. Is there anything that Revoker is good against? We need Teferi, we need Archon of Emeria. I don't think Revoker does anything. They're not activated abilities. What else do we cut? Brazen Borrower, I don't think does any good. This is a one-lander. That's a clear mulligan. This is also a one-lander. So have to mull that too. We're down to 5. Okay. So this is a keep. What to bottom? Karn actually fetching Damping Sphere? Damping Sphere is actually good. Do I bottom a land? Bottoming a land puts us 2 lands away from Karn. As it is, hopefully I can get down Giver of Runes plus Archon by the time they can Shardless Agent. So I think I bottom Karn. I keep this. And then I bottom Karn. Oh, I gotta bottom 2 cards. Karn plus Prismatic Ending. So I guess I want to Eladamri's Call turn 2. So Hallowed Fountain, play Giver, hope to draw an untapped land by turn 3 so that I can play my Archon immediately. Probably Forest. Oh, to bottom. I don't know. It's a little sketchy. I think we're okay. Drawing that untapped land is good. So we should be able to get our Archon down with protection before they can cascade. How's it going, Gizball 11? Wave Sifter. Yep. So this is a good, like, Hushbringer matchup, too. They could just beat us fairly by having just a bunch of pitch elementals. Yeah. Fair, alright. Okay, well, they spent their fury on our Giver of Runes. Yep, good old fair magic. Modern. I mean, MH2 block constructed. So let's get our Archon of Emeria and just pray they don't have another removal spell for it. Or another pitch elemental. Life total is really not that relevant, as if they go off, we just lose. Yeah, okay, yeah, they have another Fury. So, awesome. Yeah, MH2 is super annoying. Beseju. So, I could Eladamri's for a Meddling Mage and name Glimpse of Tomorrow. I could grab a Hushbringer. If I go Meddling Mage for Glimpse of Tomorrow, how good is that? Like, Hushbringer, they still can just Shardless Agents. And get the Cascade. So, I think I gotta go with... Oh, I actually don't have the colors to Eladamri's, I don't have the colors to Eladamri plus Meddling Mage. I should have played my Triome. That was a mistake. I don't even have the colors to Eladamri's plus Hushbringer. So is there anything that's actually worth even getting out right now? Yeah, that was a pretty big mistake. I probably should have just played my Triome there. Do I still have the Phyrexian Revoker? I boarded it out. It doesn't help anyway. Maybe I should board in Torpor Orb in my deck as much as I don't want to because it hurts me. Well, I think you have to try to minimize the amount that it hurts you. Just try to make it so that it hurts your opponent a lot more. But yeah, ETB effects are just so common and so powerful in Modern right now. I think it makes perfect sense to play effects to cancel them. Violent Outburst. So we're probably dead here. I gotta think we're dead. Do I have my Containment Priest? It's mostly a meme. Yeah, most of the decks I build are memes as well. That's kind of my shtick. I build weird decks. Okay. Shuffle all the permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards. Okay. So I think... but again, we don't have the white mana to get the Containment Priest down, so I think we just lose. Omnath, double endurance, a million Risen Reefs. I don't think there's any way in a million years we're beating that, but let's just see how it goes. Let's see if we're dead right now. Well, you know, that was a unfortunately a multi 5. We were one white mana away from totally blowing them out. If we had had another white source there, in response to the Glimpse of Tomorrow, we could have Eladamri's call for a Containment Priest, and they would have gotten None of these creatures. And we probably would have won. They also had double fury plus cards to pitch to it to kill our first couple of creatures, so I think that was a little unfortunate for us. Of course, their deck is like super powerful, but I think we have the tools. We had the tools to beat it. It just didn't work out. And here's another Cascade. Okay. Sure, I'll take a look at your list. Mono green land destruction. Stampeding Serau. Acidic slime. Karn, acid moss, plow under, primal command. Yeah, it looks fun. It's very slow. So I don't think that you'd do very well in leagues with it, but you could probably get some wins like in the practice queue. The problem is that like mana dorks just die. There's so many interactive, like all the best decks are super interactive or else so fast that they just win before you can go off even with your mana dorks. Was that 20 lands plus mana dorks? You got the Utopia Sprawl, Arbor Elf. You're playing a bunch of like, I probably would go up some lands as well. Like in games where you don't draw Utopia Sprawl plus Arbor Elf, you're not going to do very much. I go up to at least 22. Probably like 23 or 24, considering all of those big spells you want to cast. But I do enjoy blowing up people's lands. It's fun. And what are they killing me with? Oh, with Omnath triggers. So, can you just kill us already? It also has two Trinispheres for some reason. Probably don't want the Trinispheres because you've got a lot of you've got some 1-drops in there. You could end up hurting yourself. It just seems like a waste. You want to spend your turn 3 like blowing up people's lands. So they're just like messing with us, I think. They've got another Omnath trigger in there, so we're dead. Okay. So we went 2 and 3. Sorry. Yeah, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 losses. We beat Amulet Titan, which was a really good win, and we beat Burn, which is remarkable because it's pretty hard for us to beat Burn, actually. So, I had fun with this the first league of the launch of my channel. I think you saw that like if I can protect the creatures, the deck actually has the tools to shut down a lot of the metagame. The trick is like keeping the creatures alive. Like if I can keep the creatures alive, the deck has a good chance of beating a lot of what's in the meta. But if they die, which happens very, very often because Modern is so fast and interactive, then the deck usually ends up falling flat on its face. That last match was really unfortunate because if we did have that second white source, that would have been such a blowout. We would have Eladamri's called for our Containment Priest. None of the Risen Reefs would not have ETB'd. The Omnath would not have ETB'd. Like, none of that would have happened. And there's a very good chance we would have won the game. Or we would have had a fighting chance, at least. We were still really short on cards, and it would have been difficult. But we would have just hosed them so badly. Pyre of Heroes. Humans, they're very toolboxy. Yeah, humans are very toolboxy in general. It's true. I just like the redundant layers of protection that you can get from a Bant list like this. And I like Hushbringer, which isn't a human. But I do believe that shutting down ETB triggers is a very powerful tool in Modern that's effective against a lot of what's really good in the meta these days. But anyway, I had fun with this first league of the channel. Despite the 2 and 3 record, I think it will be the first of many, and we'll continue to iterate and improve. I'm determined to bring some version of this deck to Las Vegas for the 30th anniversary of MTG. I'm going to that event. Gonna play some Modern. I already have like a Dimir Eldrazi control deck that I've built and put together and bought in paper, and I think some version of this deck is gonna be deck number 2. So I'm gonna play Modern and Commander while I'm there. So you'll see me testing this more on the channel, in addition to playing some Standard, probably some Explorer, and some other Modern decks as well. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please do like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on YouTube if you're watching this there. And with that, I will say goodnight to you. Take care. Be well.